Are you a real estate agent looking to scale up your business? I've got 4 tips to help you do that simply and efficiently. I'm going to give them to you right now. What's up, guys? So today we are talking about how to scale up our real estate business simply and efficiently without making a whole lot of errors along the way. The first tip I'm going to give you is make sure you're growing without sacrificing quality. Now, how do we do that? That's one of those things that seems, easier said than done. But I'll tell you guys, rarely is the question anything other than who is going to be the solution to the problem, right? It's who, not what, who, not how. So when we're talking about scaling up without losing quality, a lot of times the very first hire we should be making is, contrary to popular belief, it is not somebody to handle any of our clients per se, like on the sales side of things. It should be an admin or admin support on the back end. So you should be looking for who can take some of the administrative tasks for you. Maybe this is scheduling home inspections, scheduling settlement, keeping some of that client communication flowing between client and lender and title company, making sure that that process is super smooth. Because again, as you scale up, if you're going from 1 or 2 deals per month to now suddenly you're doing 5 or 6, or if that's the goal, you've got to make sure that process is fluid for your clients, because ultimately, guys, that's going to be what drives referrals in the future, and how you continue to scale your business up is by providing an amazing experience. And if the experience is only cool, so long as you're, kind of belly to belly doing the sales side of it, and then the back end, when everything is actually going on and there's lots of paperwork going back and forth, if you skip a beat there, you're going to lose all the work that you put in up front. And then obviously make sure that as you're hiring in other, be it salespeople, when you get to that point, again, it should not be the first hire, but make sure that it's somebody that represents your values, somebody that represents your work ethic, and just the overall vision that you have for your company. Make sure they're in alignment. Tip number 2 I'm going to give you: go deep, not wide. Very few times do you see incredibly successful real estate pros that have gone super wide in their geographic range, right? Most of them, if you look at some of the best teams out there, they have gone really, really deep in the specific area that they focus in on. When I look at some of the best teams that I know across the nation, that's exactly what they've done. They've gone really deep initially. And then once they're at, let's say, 100, 200, 300 sales per year, then they begin to expand a little bit. But you don't ever flip that around, right? You should not start and have your attention in 6 different geographic regions, because ultimately you're going to be good at none of them. Number 3, now this is one of my favorite topics in business, guys, is systems and processes. I'm a big believer that we should have standard operating procedures for our business. If there's anything that we do more than twice, let's say in a calendar year, there probably should be a standard operating procedure for that. Because my goal is always, I want everybody, myself included, to be completely replaceable. God forbid something happens. And this isn't necessarily, because you fired or, somebody quit your team. But let's say you've got an amazing assistant or an amazing agent on the team, and they go out on maternity leave or paternity leave. I mean, that's a super happy thing. We want to support that. But whoever steps in then needs to be able to step in and be immediately off to the races with whatever it is, however it is that you do business, so that, again, through the lens of the client, this is a very seamless experience. And it's not just seamless in this one individual sale, right? When they come back to you, say 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, they're coming back because they loved the experience they had. They want to replicate it. And so you've got to be able to do that. The only way to do that, as folks will come in and leave your team, staff come in, maybe you coach them up into, something greater in life. People are going to come and go. The clients expect the same experience. And the only way to do that is if you have it documented. So keep a very detailed standard operating procedure for everything you do. And tip number 4 that I'm going to give you as a means to help you scale your business is make an identifiable brand for yourself. And I am a big proponent of make this a logo. Some states require that you have your name as part of your team name or as part of your business. And if that's you, if you're in one of those states, I totally get it. I would encourage you, if you have the ability, don't even make it your name, right? Because everybody can identify with the logo of Nike, right? All I have to say is Nike, and you can think swoosh, right? It's the Nike swoosh. It's you remember the logo, but if I were to ask you what is the name and what does the CEO look like, you probably would have no idea, right? I have no idea. And so it's because for whatever reason, right, humans, we remember logos and brands better than we do sometimes faces and names. And so, I think it's very arcane to me that, we are marketing ourselves with, a for sale sign, and it has our face is a third of the sign. I think that's laughably ridiculous. It's totally an ego play. And look, if your goal is to boost your ego, awesome. Slap your face on everything possible. If your goal is to boost your business, though, probably slapping your face on everything isn't necessarily the way you're going to get there, because you're not going to have the brand recognition that you would if you simply changed it over to a logo, right? That represented who you were, the brand you were building, and certainly, some of the things that you stand for. So again, as you scale, make sure you're taking yourself personally out of that brand as much as possible in terms of what is it forward facing for the consumer, and make that a logo or a slogan or something like that, something that is more memorable to the consumers in general.